Hi, I was asked to make a project using the special effects patina paints for In2crafts. So I thought I'd choose this particular set here, which contains the blues and the copper colour rather than the rust one. I will do a video again for that. I've used this set because I've already made one frame and I would like another one to match. So I've taken a really cheap, as you can see, it's really shiny on the back, plastic frame from a really well-known store where things don't cost much more than £1. And I've added one coat of gesso to the top, and I have dried it with my heat gun very quickly so I can continue. The gesso I used was Art Basics Heavy Gesso Black, but any gesso is fine. This is particularly thick, so sometimes just one coat is enough. But if you have a thinner one, just put a couple of coats on it so it gives it a good key for the rest of the paint to stick to. Now with the paint patina effect set, you get 5 different colours. I won't be using this green one this time because I didn't use it on the last frame that I made, so I would like it to match, so I'm not going to use it. The 3 green and blue that are there, I will use that, and this one, this bronzy coppery colour, well it's actually copper, that one is the one that you use last, so if you put that off to one side you won't get confused. Okay, all I've got is a paintbrush and some old pads. Maybe I'll use them, maybe I'll use both, maybe I'll just use the paintbrush, I don't know just now. A glass mat, which is a 12 by 12 one, so you can see roughly what size the frame is. I've removed the back when I painted it to keep it from getting in a mess, and the rest now is really easy. So it's basically just choose a colour that you want to start with. I'm going to use the blue one. I'm just going to squeeze just a small blob because that will do all of what I need. So I'm going to use one at a time. So all you do now, you can either use an ink pad, you know, that you use for blending your distress inks. You can use it without the thing, but the holder. So you just take a little bit of the, put it on. If this is too much that you've put out, you can always put it back in the pot with a scraper. Try, you know, don't waste it. And all you need to do is start to dab it in, picking up various areas. Make sure you get right into each bit. So as you can see, this frame is really quite ornate, and it's not actually, I'll pull it up, it's not actually getting into the actual groove part. So for now I'll use the paintbrush, I think, because I do want it to be covered. As you can see, there's no great skill to this really, it's just building up your layers of paint here and there, dabbing it on randomly really. This technique also works with the Starlight paints from Crafter's Companion really well. You get a slightly different look because they're really shiny and got glitter in them. So just dab it around, making sure you get into the grooves. You can always go back in and add more layers. Also make sure, if it's a freestanding frame, that you actually do the sides as well of it, because obviously it'll look a bit odd if you don't. So just build it up. Now in between each colour layer I tend to give it a quick flash dry with my heat tool. Bearing in mind that this was a really cheap plastic frame, so don't hang around too much with the heat tool because you do not want to melt your plastic frame. So it's done in real time, guys, so it does take a little while. I don't know how to speed up the process on the video as yet. I am still a novice, but I will get there. So just kind of dab it on. Make sure you get into all the little crevices on your project if you have them. And then a bit of noise now because I've got to heat it up and dry it. It dries really quickly. But by drying it, it just stops the paint melding into each other too much on your first layer. So just give it a flash dry. put some green out. Maybe not as much as before with the green. I'm not going to bother changing the brush. I'll use one side of it. And then you just fill in the areas that you want. Exactly the same. No real technique to it. You can go over the other bits if you wish. If you put a bit too much blue on, you can always mix over the top of it. It's really a no skill required project for this. It's anybody could do this. Good fun with the kids as well if you want to do it with the kids. It always looks really, really messy until you've completely finished it. And it looks like you're making a right old mess of things. So basically the premise is to cover your frame. It's a good day today for doing messy crafts. It was quite mild, but the wind's picked up a little. And the rain has stopped for now. Don't know how long for, but you never know, it might stop for good. So I'm going to put some of the darker blue on. Well, it's more like a teal colour. So dry this one first. And then go in with the teal. This is my favourite colour out of all of them, actually. I really quite like this one. It just dulls down the brightest blue. Don't forget to do the inner lip as well. Yeah, it dulls down the brightest blue, and it just adds another nice little tone to it. It's really quite nice. When you're doing this, you can also see that, you know, maybe you put a bit too much blue on, therefore put a bit of green on it to tone it down a bit. But each time you do it, you know, you can use the same colours, but you won't get it to look exactly the same, which is really quite nice. Okay. So we've got a good coverage now. Mainly blue. I'll just see if it's any better with the light on. I'm not sure really. No, it's about the same. I've got an hot light and I was just going to put that on to see if you could see it better. But you get the gist of what I'm doing, guys. So have a good look at your frame now and see if there's any black bits. If you want them to be showing, well, that's all well and good. You know, I think I might leave a few black bits coming through on this. I can look at my frame now. I'll lift her up and show you. And you can see there's pieces I've missed here and there. Just make sure you cover it. Turn it round. Again, go in with a different colour. Maybe pick up some of the brighter blue. It's really quite a bright blue, that one, as you can see. Right, okay. So I'm going to put a bit more green on it because my other frame was predominantly green. Belt. And then continue on with the green. But this time, just pick areas, you know, don't go in so heavy. You want this to look like it's naturally rusted over time. Okay, I think we're about there with the paint. I will leave a little bit of black, I think, like I said, so you can see it come through. It just adds a little bit more dimension to the piece. Depth then. Okay, so let's put these away and give it a final blast. I'm just going to put the light on so I can see when it starts to go dull, let it dry. Now, have a good look at the piece. I'll show you how it looks now. You can see it's looking a little bit patchy on the edge there, so maybe that's where I've picked it up with my fingers. There we are. Yeah, I think I've gone all the way around with the paint there. Just look for bits of mist. That's it. And I can see right there in the corner that I've missed a whole heap. So I'll just add a bit more. Now, using the sponge at this point, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it really, really well. This is dimpled on the end, this sponge obviously. So if you pick up some of the paint, you can get a kind of, you know the way rust kind of bubbles up and looks kind of, I don't know, pitted, I think maybe is the word I'm looking for. It kind of gives you that pitted effect, which is quite nice. And also, it'll kind of spread it a bit if you don't want it to be so in your face, them bits. I'm going to leave it at that, guys, because you will fiddle and mess with this for ages. So. There we are. So maybe I'll turn off the lights and you'll see it better. You see the way it's looking a little bit older than it did before. You turn it over, that is the nasty black plastic that it used to look like, and now it looks like this. So now really all you need to do is pick up any excess paint and put it away, which I will do in a moment. And now all you need to do is take the copper patina. This is where it gets a little bit messy. Just put a little bit down. And this time I find using the finger, my finger is easier, because otherwise you put too much on. Okay, so use it like you would a gilding wax, and just rub gently over with your finger to pick out some of the detail that was in your frame. I've got some little stitching type things around here, which I'm going to pick up with my finger, rub it across with the gold. It doesn't matter if you get smears on it, because, you know, oh sorry, rub it across with the copper. Pick up all the detail you want, or as little detail as you want. There we are. A bit more. You don't use much of this. This is really nice, this colour. Go gently, you can't take it off once it's on, kid. So go gently with it. You can, I think, cover this. Maybe you could cover it, if you put too much on, you could cover it a little bit with another bit of paint. I'll see. I'll have a go in a minute and see if you can, you know, sort of dull it back again. And you can see the bits get picked up really nicely. Don't forget to do the outside edge of your frame, so it makes it look like it's actually part, especially with this one, it's got some stitching on it. So I'm just going to rub through the outside part of it as well. Picking up all the bits, the detail on there. Might need a little more. You use this one quite sparingly, and you use it exactly the same as a building wax. I may well have said that before, but that's what you do. Now, I've got a smear there that I'm not actually keen on, so I'm just wondering if I can dull it down with a bit of the paint. Yeah, you can dull it down, but you can't take it out. So go easy with the copper. Yeah, it's smudged and dulled it, which is fine. Okay, so I'm going to lift the frame up now, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Make sure I've picked up all the bits of gold that I need to pick up. I'll just remove that smudge there, I'm not keen on. There we go, there we go. So, if I lift it up now, you can see you've got quite a lot of really nice detail where you picked it up with your finger there. On my last piece that I did, I also used just a small bit of this gold Pebeo. It's Empire Gold, just a tiny bit. Same, use your fingers, and all I did was pick up on top a little bit, just to bring it out a little more of just the absolute detail. You know, the nice details that are in the corner that you can see here as well, and here. And it just sort of heightens the copper that you've put on. There we are. So now it looks like that. Easy, isn't it, guys? Easy, and it looks antiqued and it looks really pretty. So then all you need to do is put your chosen item back into the frame. I haven't chosen anything to put in it yet, but I do have a really nice photograph of my mum when she was younger. I just find I put a little bit too much on that one there. So there we are. Go over it again. There we are. And there you have a nice frame. I hope you enjoyed that and you'll have a go. These paints are so easy to use. A great price too from In2craft. So check them out, have a look. And I shall put a picture on my blog of it finished with the item in, and go and wash my hands. Okay, thanks guys, bye.